Hey everybody and welcome to Read It. I'm Beardo with an O.
I'm Nick with a C.
I was trying to get her to lead, but it didn't work.
Never. I do not like leading. I like following. And I shouldn't be proud of that, but I am so proud of that.
That's what happens when you get two followers trying to lead.
We're both kind of like, yeah, we just follow along. That's not good. Are we like puppies?
Anyways, Read It.
Okay,
We're
right.
going to talk about Percy Jackson, the Percy Jackson series, and
Maze Runner, because I just watched the Scorched Trials. I'm really excited, so I want to talk about the series. You want to start with Maze Runner? So I know you've watched the movie.
I've seen both movies, but I've read none of the books.
Yeah, so I just started reading the book, and there's so much that's different, and I know this happens, and I think the fans are upset about this, but having read the book, I don't like the book. I didn't like it at all. I loved the movie, and maybe that's just because I watched the movie first. I don't know.
That usually happens. And also there's usually lots of people that are like, book was fantastic, movie sucks. Which I've heard a lot of for Maze Runner. They're missing details and getting stuff mixed up and
oh no, it's
taking out
totally
characters.
different from the book, but I don't like the book. I like the movie version of the story.
Interesting.
I found the book version, I don't know. I think maybe it's just because I watched it first.
That might have been my How to Train Your Dragon equivalent. Because I watched How to Train Your Dragon, loved it, and I was like, let's read the book. The book.
Oh, there's a book for it?
The book was so different. The book is written for like 10-year-olds.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And they also speak Dragonese, which does not exist in the movies, which I think didn't need to exist in the first place. No offense to anybody who thinks it does. Toothless is not a Night Fury. Toothless is a terrible terror that they're like, oh, well, he's the chief's son. He needs a ball and dragon. Let's call it a night terror. Like, Toothless is nothing.
No. I haven't seen either, so I can't comment.
Yeah.
But it's disappointing when that happens,
Yeah.
for sure. But I actually have a new rule. If there's a movie out from a book series, I'll watch the movie first. Because if I find if I read the book and I really like it, it'll either ruin the movie or ruin the book, or I don't know. So like with Harry Potter, I saw the film first, and then I read the book and I thought, wow, this book is amazing. It's so much better than movies, and it's a good thing I did that because movies get progressively worse.
Because they had to cut.
And it just became like screenshots of the books, right? But yeah, anyway, so we're way off topic with Maze Runner. So let's move on to Percy Jackson, because that's something we've both read. I've not read as much as you have, though.
You only read the first book, correct? And I read the entire series. And a friend of mine has read the entire secondary series that's written after it.
Which is Heroes of Olympus? Or Children of Olympus? What is it?
Children of Olympus.
Okay. I've seen it on the bookshelves and I've been wanting to buy it because I really liked Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief. I tried reading the second because I own the entire series. But there's always like something else that's shinier for me, so I'm always grabbing something else.
Oh, shiny.
Yeah, that's how I am, and I'm really like a very moody reader. Like I have to be in the mood for certain genres.
Yeah.
Right now, my genre is horror, and I just love horror right now.
For the Percy Jackson series, I loved it because it was, for the most part, accurate. It was
as
mythologically correct. Yeah. But
Yeah.
then they did the movie.
I didn't mind the movie because like
the movie as a standalone movie itself is fine.
Yeah.
But for some reason, Percy Jackson is the one exception to my usual rule that I keep books and movies separate, and for this one I can't. I can't keep Percy Jackson separate.
It's because you just love the source material too much to
exactly.
separation.
I loved the book and I was like, okay, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. They never involved this at all. This got completely cut out. And they also
I'm trying to remember.
They also changed one fact which I never actually noticed until a friend of mine brought it up. In the books, Grover's not black.
Do they mention race in the book?
Yes, they very much mention that Grover is not black. And also he wouldn't be. All of them would be Greek descendant. Greek was primarily Caucasian.
Yeah.
They were not African American or darker skinned of any type. They would have been all Caucasian.
That's like a common thing they do, though, where they tend to change the race of characters when they move them into film.
Because it better suits the
Well,
actor.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's just there's. That's a pretty heavy topic. That's probably a watch it topic. And I'm just like, I better not go there. But if you haven't read Percy Jackson, it's a very charming story, and it's not too young because like sometimes these books are aimed at, like you said with Toothless, they're aimed at 10-year-olds. But I didn't feel that way with Percy Jackson. It's definitely for teenagers.
Starting at 14. Mm-hmm. I think that's how old Percy is at the beginning too.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the story, I'm pretty sure he's like 13, maybe 14.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the series, he's like 16.
Did you find that there were some parallels to Harry Potter? You got a little orphan boy who finds out he's super special, who gets sent off to a camp/school to learn his special powers.
To defeat the almighty Dark Lord who's been risen from the dead. Stop it!
Sorry, did I ruin it for you? Which came first? Did they come out at the same time? Maybe this isn't a bad thing.
I think Harry Potter started. Ooh, that'd be a tough one.
I think it was Harry Potter first. But it's a common theme in stories. It's what is it, the hero's arc or whatever. But can we have more characters that aren't orphans?
Yeah,
I think
it's
that would
like,
be awesome.
It's also like a classic Disney thing. Oh, how do we make this story go from really happy-go-lucky to horribly depressing at the beginning? Kill the parents.
I heard this joke.
Tarzan. Frozen.
Yes.
Tangled, she gets abducted from her parents.
But she gets them back in the end and then cry. Yeah.
Hunchback.
Mm-hmm. But you're thinking of Disney movies. This happens
but it's
everything.
It's a hero cliche.
It is
Kill
a
the
hero
parents.
cliche. I remember reading a long time ago where, because in fan fiction, there's this really, you read fan fiction, or you know about fan fiction. There's this theme especially when I was a kid, where it was always like these kids who would end up being orphaned at like a super young age, and then they'd live on the streets and they were fine. And everyone would be like, what? They're like 7. How would that happen? That's not realistic at all.
If they were 7, they'd be like a grown-up 30-year-old when they're 18.
Mm-hmm.
They would have such a twisted aspect of reality.
Yeah. So no more orphans. Let's just cut out the orphans and come up with different ways to create conflict and stress and horrible things. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to Percy Jackson. I paid attention a lot to my Greek mythology. Greek mythology was my favorite when I was a kid. It's the one that I got super in-depth into. I love the Greek mythology, and being able to read along and be like, guarded by Cerberus. Yes, that is correct. Boom. Perfect. Happy. As long as their facts are correct, I'm happy.
Does it drive you crazy when you're watching movies or something and Cerberus comes up and you're like, that's not what Cerberus is? I saw one where it was like just a one-headed dog, and I was like,
yes, I was like,
what?
Cerberus is literally titled the three-headed hellhound.
Yeah. What are you doing? Get it right. And I'm not like super into Greek mythology, but I know enough to know like that's inappropriate.
Fluffy from Harry Potter is a Cerberus, technically. He's the three-headed dog.
He is, yeah. But I never saw Cerberus as like puppy like that.
Yeah, kind of more the pointy-eared Rottweiler, not a puppy.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Oh, bad feelings. But yeah, no, I really want to start reading the rest of the series. Get it out there. Get it done.
The entire series is actually really intense.
Yeah.
Especially if you know your Greek mythology like I do, and you could kind of, okay, this is leading to this, which is leading into that. Oh my gosh!
Greek mythology is really messed up though, so if they like get really, really legitimate, it could get really messy.
It's more like, okay, they're talking about this person and they're bringing in, actually, I can't even say that because that is like super spoilers.
No spoilers! Makes it so hard.
They'll bring in a certain weapon used by a god, and then you're like, oh, okay, well they're bringing this person, they're bringing that god in next. Like, if you can see foreshadowing like that.
Yeah. That would almost ruin it for me. So I'm glad I don't know enough to pick up on that stuff, because now I'll be surprised.
Yeah.
And like some people who won't be surprised.
You really do need to read it though, because
I'm gonna get around to it.
Recommend 10 out of 10.
I'm gonna like text you. If you ever give me your texting number, I will text you and be like, I'm reading this chapter, and you'll be like, yeah.
I'll text you once I have an operational phone.
Okay, good.
Did you have more for Maze Runner? We didn't really touch that very much, and I feel like I'm starting to rant about
Greek mythology?
Yeah.
No, there's not a lot to talk about except for the movies. Maze Runner, I thought, like, even though it's different, the movie was fantastic. It kept my attention. Scorched Trials was even better. Amazing movie. I know it's a movie, not the book, but whatever. So, yeah.
Is it kind of like a zombie apocalypse, post-apocalyptic thingy?
This is really
that's
be
how
a
it kind of
theme
threw
lately.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, it really does seem to be a theme.
We went from like wizards to vampires to zombies.
Yeah. Zombies is definitely the popular thing right now. I even kind of have a creature that's like a zombie in my novel. It's just the thing. I don't know why that is though. I guess it's kind of scary to think of something that's dead coming to life and trying to eat your brains.
I usually am a fan of the traditional ravenous, mind lost, wandering, freak out zombie. Not the, there's still part of them left, and they're super slow and...
Well, in the Scorched Trial, zombies were more like just ravenous monsters, which is great.
Like the Scorched Trial zombies, the Walking Dead zombies, those are the zombies that I technically like.
Yeah, which they're not zombies, that's just what we're calling them.
Yeah, zombies.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. We're done.
Yeah, I think we're timing out here.
And I think we're gonna be in trouble when Nick gets back.
Yeah.
He's gonna be like,
you guys had like no topic whatsoever. You were so flipping around.
well, and spoilers and swearing and cats. We had a nice play.
So, like saying this right now, I am sorry, Nick. I try my best.
I'm not sorry. I do what I want.
And I have to try to keep this under control. Anyways, that's all the time we got. Comment down below.
Like,
subscribe.
Click all the things.
And we'll see you in the future.
Or in the past. Nick, have you seen Ezio?
No, I don't know where he is. I haven't seen him.
Well, we're doing that bit next. Well,
I'm
gonna have to
look out here.
Okay, good.